Hey everyone, I'm still as beautiful as ever. Good to see you all. And you are also beautiful. We all are. Um, there's so many things that over the next several days I will be sharing with you. And when I say things, these are very significant things, and that I can share with you what has been divinely transpiring. What I and uh, Comrade Dragon, what we have done in a few days, also what others have done, and also what everyone has accomplished on this timeline globally here with Gaia. So there is so much, and I will just keep this as short as possible because there will be divine messages written up that needs to be written up so that it can also be recorded in many different languages for this time. So I won't touch too much on to those. I'll perhaps generally go with it. The first main thing is that the ascension is ascertained. And currently, there are ones of you that are, let's say, able to sustain a sixth and seventh dimensional state. Now, the 5D ascension is ascertained. It is here. We are transitioning it. And very rapidly, all the technology comes, but all of the other things with the financial easing and all of the good things. So this is all well underway, and I know many of you keep up on those aspects because that was part of your divine mission. So everything is coming to fruition. As always, the ascension could never be stopped, and it is imminent, and we are into it right now, and we keep advancing forward. So, um, there are some that are still straddling, let's say, 5D and the old paradigm as well. So, into the duality. Also us, we are, let's say, in a triality, but what has occurred because of ones being strengthened since December 28th, we're actually, a lot of us are actually we're not in the old paradigm. You may look out there and see it, but ones of you that know what I'm speaking about, when you go out there, it's peaceful and everything is just smooth with it. And that everything is harmonic. So, having said that, some of you that are may still be in the duality, very rapidly you'll be brought out of that, and it is a process. There's detachment processes, and much purging and transmuting. Um, However, at the 26th, we got 2 more days to go. Um, Being tested for this new timeline in the last couple weeks of being tested with last, let's say, last things that you needed to overcome, but also things that you were overcome with, you would have found them come back into your area just to see what type of reaction uh, that you would have to them if you had actually mastered them. So there were many tests, and it depended upon an individual basis what was brought back again to test you. And the main reason for this testing again is to prepare the leaders, which are us. It's not the politicians. Trump and Putin, I would say, are playing two of the most important roles as leaders now. But what I wish to say, they also are not the leaders. We are. We dictate reality to the degree, and they must comply and follow it. So having said that, again, this is why everything is ascertained. And I can assure you that because I am one of the powerful creators that also creates the futuristic events to assure that. And I'm not the only one. There's more of you out there that have been doing this and have known about it, and most of you have kept, a low profile. You're doing your part of the divine mission, and I'm doing my part, being you could say the big mouth guy out there, and just saying, yeah, I'm one that's doing it as well. But again, there's divine reasons for everything, and everything is always divinely assured. There is the divine plan, and everything is ascertained. And again, it is a process. I mean, what is going on? We have taken these humanoid organic vessels to the higher degrees of the light to be able to go into what you could call the 5D and beyond. And it's been a process, and nothing is ever done in vain. We are, let's say, Prime Creator is the head honcho, and nothing stops the head honcho, and we're directly connected to that, all of us. So it doesn't, uh, things like darkness and negativity doesn't have any control over you once you master these things, and this is part of the process to master it. So very quickly, everything's ascertained. We're seeing it all come to fruition. Many happy hearts out there. Uh, and some of you have been activating others. And as you know, you become very powerful in that department, that you could see immediate uplifts in consciousness in someone, that you activate. So, you have become powerful beyond anything that you ever imagined. And it doesn't stop there. And again, the ones that have mastered most of the negativity here, you are the ones that have stepped more into your power. And also, it's so important for ones of you to take your last leaps of faith. If you have a little bit of, let's say, not trusting in your divine mission, it's very important that you just jump into it now, because everything is moving so rapidly forward. And once you resist it, you'll just attract the negative to it. And it's because your divine path is set out to go forward. You're very important, and we need to do this. And I can also share that we have the ability, and I know at least some, if not many of you, can attest to this. And by us going forward, we actually change the past as well. And we do this in so many ways, but one of the ways, for instance, I'll use the example of your family, that some, they have seen, I know in the past they said, Rick, my family is still asleep. But then, in 24 hours, they would say, I seen them all wake up. Like, wow. So, this is an indication of the effects you have on reality and the other participants in your reality. So, one of the tricks at changing, your past, if it needs to be changed to a degree that it will come up with you. Well, the trick is you've got to go ahead, you've got to go forward. Then this comes up to match. If you stay down in here, you're only giving all your energy and power to that. And this is why there's brick walls coming, that ones you got to raise up. And we need you all here now. Raise up in your divine power. And if you if you know you're Jesus, say you're Jesus. If you know you're Mary Magdalene or any ascended master, proclaim that and step up in it. Because again, when we get that we're all one, then that means there's not just one Christ here on the planet, Christos, male and female alike. And this leads me into the great work that Divine Comrade Dragon and I have been doing here. And I love Dragon so much with that. He's so powerful. And I will say, it's always just so it's so gratifying. That is the word, to see one's become so much more powerful, and for I to witness that, it's just one of the most beautiful things. And I'm not saying this from a condescending level, by no means, as most of you know, and not from an egotistical state. I'm saying this from a place of fact and reality, because we do know that we have many at many different levels with this ascension. However, the ones that are ahead, we always reach back to raise our comrades up beside us, and it's all of us together. And if it didn't need to be this way, if it didn't need to be teachers, there just wouldn't be. So for the fact that there are teachers and peers out there, that just shows you right there that it's needed. It's the way the divine plan goes. So don't question it. If you spend time questioning it, then the veil begins to drop, and you put yourself in a place of doubt, which is fear, and that separates you from your gifts. It separates you from the others. And, these are the times everyone becomes so powerful that actually you need to separate yourself from the negative and get aligned with all the positive and all of your comrades together. And by doing that, we very quickly, let's say, establish the timelines right here in your reality and your families and what have you, slide into it. So we are the co-creators. Now there's several ways perhaps you could describe that. I only used one. So the 5D is here. It is right here now. It is prepared, and we're just transitioning others into it. And this is going very rapidly. Many of you know that you can activate others instantly, and that's rapid change. So you activate one, then they begin to activate others, a chain reaction, and it goes very quickly. So again, getting back to what we did, the divine feminine is ready to go ahead into more of the power. And part of the work was done here in Spain, was the name of the place. We were to a monastery. I know it, Montserrat, yes, there, and also the Roman Catholic temple here. I'd put in a previous post, Cathar. That was not supposed to be put in there. I looked for information before I posted that, and they had it under Cathar architecture, and Pamela Johnson put a comment and a couple others, and I read it, and they said, Rick, that's not entirely correct, and they are. We like to look at this as Roman Catholic because that is the architecture. However, what they attempted to do was to use some of the Cathar and Gnostic aspects, as you can see, into the picture. So to make it look like it was Cathar. But anyhow, it's a story, longer story with that. And, just looking back, it would have been perhaps better just to say it was Roman Catholic. But it doesn't really matter at this point what it is. It's there. And it is a depiction of what they would call the Dark Mother. And see, with this ascension, the Dark Mother is a trick as well. And it is things created, as well as the Black Madonna also was trickery. And it was created, as well as some statues of the Mother Mary. like the Christ, keeping the Christ on a cross. All of these were depictions which are not, correct. They have been twisted and manipulated to serve an agenda by the Vatican and by the whole darkness that was here to suppress the truth. However, again, nothing stops divinity, and all of us are here. None of us can be killed by any force here, and that's ascertained. We're here to complete this mission of doing this, and everyone slides into the dimension or timeline what is, let's say, in their soul contract. And with that, your soul contracts can be rewritten at any time now, once you retain more of your divine memory back, and you have more of a choice and more of a free will. However, you don't have the free will, full free will, right at this point of leaving here. As we know, it's very important that we stay here. The last information I got from Father is perhaps a year or two that most of us will be staying here on the 5D timeline, integrating and assuring that it is set up for humanity. And one of the integrations, as you've seen, is Putin announcing in his governmental address and the walkout of the government, but then coming back in. And what Putin mentioned about universal or basic income, and he was saying great things. This is really in alignment with the basic incomes. We're seeing several countries around the world have mentioned it in the least, but very rapidly, with the whole change in the financial system and how it worked, all of these things come into fruition very quickly. And we do have more of a control over the timelines now, meaning that by us banding together and using everything you've been taught and keeping in the highest vibration, the highest concentration, and also gathering together for the higher consciousness talks, it actually expedites the time for the 5D. So it is intangent, or let me say, it's the 5D, what you would expect or anticipate in that comes much quicker. So we can bring it to us quicker, as many of you. There's many confirmations out there in your skies. You can see the powers of what we can do. Getting back to the Divine Mother, the work we were doing was taking mostly the masculine. Dragon and I were taking, and there were other ones working remotely. I need to say that we always work as a team, for sure. And I'm just saying that Dragon and I were physically 0 point doing this, and our higher hearts were powered up before we went in there. Then boom, we felt all of the density because we became magnets to clear that density out of the air, the negative charged particles, ions, whatever you wish to call them. We collected them because we're just like two transmutation machines, and did the energetic process of that in the organic form. And the reason why we need to do this is that we're working in the reality where we have, organic physical vessels. And also we need to leave behind the legacy, the recording of these things as well, to maintain a certain history for the new timeline. So again, you can look at it, we're writing a new Bible. And yes, we are. And this Bible is going to be the purest. No, I got to retract that. This Bible, new Bible, is the purest and most strongest guidance that anyone would ever need. We have all of the truths that are resurfacing from all of the ascended masters that was incarnated here before, including Jesus. And as most of you know, Jesus, uh, that representation was not the only one. So now with the Christos and going forward, when let's say the dark excluded Mary Magdalene out of the true teachings and what had occurred, well, that allowed for the patriarch rule. So again, what we are doing and what we have done is taken a lot of that negativity and low density from others. So we did the work for them. And as a result, I do know at least some close ones have experienced, the purging, uh, the part of the purging process, physical symptoms, and what have you. And so I do know that others participated in it, and I also know that the feminine participated in it as well. So we undertook a huge, massive clearing once again. But in this area in Spain, again, it's so important because of several things. What was occurring? One of the main things at Montserrat is the Black Madonna as well. One's uh, genuinely going in and giving energy away to what is a lie, the way it was made. And what that does, it energizes that in places that were on ley lines where the churches were built for that fact to keep everything negative and fear based. So that process has been broken very significantly in these areas and also for Spain. And there are reasons for this. If you remember the bankruptcy of Spain or Spain going into default in the past, and also, the separations of the people here away from what you would call the Kingdom of Spain, I believe Brother Dragon said. So all of these is part of the transformation process. However, again, the main objective here in Spain was taking the negative masculine imprint off of the feminine mother, Sophia, Christos, and Mary Magdalene, all of the uh, feminine Christos aspects so that they can rise for this this new timeline that we have here, so that they become more empowered. So many of the feminine you're going to, or you already have, much higher powers as well, and taking up your divine roles in whatever way that may be. Um, and again, yes, we have superhuman powers, and they keep getting stronger and stronger because we are the angelics. That's what we are. And again, nothing stops this. What is occurring here, the ascension is ascertained. We are in it, and again, it's a process, and to do that, you're given your divine gifts, your galactics you're connected to. All of you know that that is very real, and if the ascension wasn't ascertained, you would not have the ships here like it is. You would not have had what you can call the huge Orion time machine activated for all of us, which just keeps let's say it keeps creating the 5D right here. And some of you may have seen the gravitational pulse, I believe, that they recorded on maybe January the 14th that come from the shoulder of Orion, which shows you also that it's very activated. Now, I wish to say with this, don't be confused in the past by what one thought were the dark Orion matrix, because that also was created when the Orion time machine it was shut down because of the suppression of humanity. So where they had, let's say, was controlling it, for the last couple thousand years or more, perhaps 3,000 years, where they had control of it. They called it their own because they didn't have it activated, but because they controlled it not being activated, they called it theirs. But in reality, it is ours. And once we had risen to such a vibration globally, as you know, we activated it when you all began to see your Merkavas and your Merkava ships and all of the other ships, and then boom, the activation. So we have, you can also say we have taken back the divine control of it as well. So it no longer belongs to any dark aspect. This is all divinity that is running the show here, and everything is ascertained with what goes on. Now, the higher creators among you that know your abilities and know who you are, this message I will share if you do not already have it. As we know, we get our messages from many sources, and sometimes I get them from you that come, so we're all together in this. But this message again is for the higher creators. Keep your focus on creating this new. Do not be distracted by anything less than what we want, meaning don't be distracted by any of the, well, like in the past, the fires in Australia, that was taken care of very quickly as an example. So just keep on creating the new, keep activating others, keep your focus upon the higher mission. And that's for us to change everything, and for us leaving shortly when that's done. Well, this is how we get there. So all of this, again, many of you were very tired for the arduous journey. However, it was all ascertained and it all is, and we've all made it. So very good things going on. There still is parts of the process because we're transitioning it that yet I'm not given that it's going to be a flashpoint change in reality for 5D here. However, what I will say, when our mission is done for this 5D, yes, it can be a flashpoint for us. And that is also in the cards, and it depends on which one is involved in that and what they have in their soul contract and what they wish to do. So there can be that flashpoint yet. At this point in Tocantins, Brazil, a 7.2 earthquake will be important when that occurs. And I put this information out in the past with no linear time when it will. But that is also a most definite sign for us that may be leaving when our missions are done. So the ones that are leaving, this will be a definite sign of that as well. And it will mark the opening of the interdimensional gate for us to go towards our free will, if you will. Pardon the pun. So cool stuff still coming. And so just to touch base with you, and again, over the next couple of days, I anticipate getting things out, and everything is always divinely tentative with I. And, a lot of times I'll be vague and say may, perhaps, or mayhaps. Haven't said that in a while, mayhaps. And however, that is what the divine plan is like. And I like to say that during these small segments, what we're experiencing here of the divine plan, that things are tentative. Someone gets a message and it doesn't come out. It doesn't mean they were incorrect, because it means everything is possible with it. And don't negate yourself just because you receive something and it doesn't turn out, because we are in constant change. And sometimes, when we make the huge leaps in vibration, you might have got a message this was going to occur when we were here, but we might have just jumped right over that and it becomes irrelevant. You're never wrong with your things, and keep aligned always with the most positive. You're in very high creational modes, as most of you know now, and we have the abilities to control in good ways for the good for all at a very increased rate and a very powerful rate. Um, I just, I don't watch movies and things, and however, Dragon Brother brought up the Lucy movie. Lucy, the name of the movie, a few nights ago. I had the liberty, I watched it tonight, because I knew there was some messages in there. And indeed, there is, Um, one thing, it depicts what we're doing. And in that movie, we have already, with your parapsychological gifts, already have done, some of that. So the movie is not fiction, as we know. And the end result, although they don't have everything right correct in the movie, what will occur, they have the theme, and it's pretty good. And there's a lot of things, of course, in the movie that we can do that they don't have it in there yet. However, it's a good confirmation, or you'll see signs in there, and it's very interesting. I'm just looking. I took a couple uh, notes, but this is for another conversation. But it's cool. Yeah, I guess there's not much right there to share with it, but it's in alignment with what we are. Except in the movie, there's killing, and we're not into none of that. So there's a mix from the old realities, and but we don't look at, let's say, the negativity or bad or any of the gore in the movie. Look for the good things as we do, and look for the signs, right? You don't want to get fixated on negative things. You keep your mind attuned to the positive and watch for the signs, and the signs are in there as well, and it's all very true. Again, as creators, everything is possible for us, and you'll be your own witness. The more you keep going, all of us are witnesses for each other, of course, but you also be your own witness. Mentioning the word that everything is possible. Also, I believe it was in Trump's Davos, Switzerland speech, perhaps, but I'm not certain on this. But I saw a segment of a speech that he just did a few days ago, where he says that we now have the answers to do what once thought were impossible. Now, these few words are very, very important. And one of the ways I wish to look at this is, the old economists and financial guys, and they used to look at in the governments how, with the money, how it had to be made, and debt, and all of this. Uh, so how it worked. And one of the things at that time, they, let's say, did not allow in uh, no debt whatsoever, unlimited supply of money for everyone. They did not allow that in. They considered that impossible. But let me tell you what, I would say Trump is alluding to what is coming, abundance for all, and very quickly, health for all, and the harmonious 5D. And with that, I will say again, they have no choice, that this is the way that it is. So unlimited supplies of the money as society swiftly changes upon her and humanity becomes civilized, if you will. So yeah, they are civilized. I got to say they're civilized now because they're paying attention, and we wish to create that, and that's important. So the old things is all over, and this whole mission is a huge success, and it's a very good and joyous times. Go out and the ones of you that you're empowered to very high states. Go out, make others happy, activate others, spread the joy, spread the love, and have fun with your new creator abilities that you have since December 28th. And of course, keep trying all things and pay attention to what you're doing and how you're creating so that you can hone your creator skills at what you wish to create. And also, again, how you wish to affect others and how you wish to change your present realities and relationships and how you wish for everyone to be. So again, it's inside of you, it's inside of I. We want the good for all and the love and the harmony and the peace. So we are the examples also to create that. So we have more of a noticeable effect upon one. So great. I said I was going to keep this short, but just again to give you more so a quick update of what has been transpiring. So yes, ascension symptoms, but these were done on higher levels and very quickly. Many of you are coming out of that, but with the divine feminine, uh, very important. And any of you that wish, just keep sharing your abilities out there. Do not hide. You need to be out there. The more that you're out there sharing your abilities, if you walked across water, get that out there. It's so important for everyone, not only for us, for the rest of the world to see. Remember, we're documenting everything here so that it is not cannot be denied or irrefuted with it. And it's assured that it will not be. And we need to leave these testimonies behind for the rest of humanity and for whatever occurs with the other souls, that are having the humanoid experience so that they advance into their super consciousness and evolve when their times are ready. Uh, so our mission here is to at least get humanity to the 5D, to have them integrated, sitting in there, accommodated into the 5D. Then we are all ready to move on to our other experiences, as you know, as to the degree your light body is activated, and of course the work you have done on the physical vessel uh, to sustain the ability to go into the other dimensions and to transcend time, to bilocate, reverse your age and process. All these good things they're all very real, and I can attest to them because I have done most of them, except let's say the bilocation. I have done it and I know it. However, I did not fully bilocate with the physical vessel yet. But I have what I could say from others, uh, a very convincing testimony to the degree that they have partially and some at different levels with doing it. And I do know we can do it and that we do that as well. And these are fun things that more so, um, let's put it this way, they'll be more prevalent when our mission is done here. And I'm not giving a timing on that when it will be more allowed. But what I do know is that the miracles that we create are very important, like walking on water, these sort of things to leave behind here, and the bilocating and transcending time, maybe some of those as well. So we'll see what it is. So, woo! So we got good temperatures here today. I'm in Barcelona, Spain, and we had, I believe it was up to 20 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer here today. So that's a little bit better weather than I've had in the past with these crystalline bodies with the organic. Yet we tend to like more of the heat areas. Because again, pure light is actually cold. So during this transformation with an organic vessel to the more crystalline, what the body temperature changes, and what you feel more comfortable with most times is a generally warmer climate, and also the uh, tropical climate for Gaia is coming very rapidly, and that's for good reasons as well. Global warming and all that is that's not for us. That is on a 3D timeline, if you will. So Gaia's undergoing great good change, and many things will occur as a result. And there's been cleansing on Gaia, and you know how Mom works. So that is great. And as we take everything higher, there's new technologies that come in to assist her. I should say they're already here. Yes. So good. Okay, that's enough. Okay, we go. Dream. It's up there. There. Dream big. However, it's not a dream. We dream the reality, if you will. So that's great. And also in your dreams, yeah, many of you have been getting messages, more concrete messages, and more beautiful dreams as well. So, and yeah, so many good things. Rhoda, I see your message. Rhoda Dahar, when does the physical symptoms finish? Can't take no more. I am depleted. Rhoda, you get through it all, so it should not be too much more here. By the 26th, what I'm given is that most will have gone through the worst of the upgrades and the testing and the purging. So you're getting hit by several things. Some of you were. Um, so no, you can do it. Everything's transitioning, and you did do it. So it just same thing. Just stick with it. It's imminent, and trust fully, and just keep going forward. Keep your mind as positive as you can. Keep your vibration as high as you can, despite of everything that you may be going through, or others as well. The key to get out of it quicker is to keep positive and master it and know what the signs are. So it's all about vibration, and that can assist you to get out of it much quicker. Um, so beautiful. Okay, love you all. Lots of winks and woohoo! And so grateful for all of your support in so many ways, and it's awesome. And we got some good things happened. They already happened, so let's see what occurs, eh? And let's see when the news spreads here very quickly. So never give up. We persevere, and that's what we did. Woo! We persevered. So I love you. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye. Love you all. Love and light.